Hello, thanks for your patience and thanks for joining us on this webinar. My name is Tim Alberg and I'm the Assistant Director of Adult and Graduate Enrollment here, and I will be answering any questions about the enrollment process for this program. But I wanted to go ahead and introduce the Program Director for the Masters in Computer Information Systems, Professor Linda Krause, and she's going to take you through this PowerPoint presentation.
Hi, good evening, and thanks for joining us this evening. Tim said, my name is Linda Krause. I'm the Program Director. My email is linda@amherst.edu, and I do teach a few of the programming courses. We also have in our faculty Professor Ali Ghani, who teaches the networking courses, Dr. Dean Jensen, who teaches the project management and some of the programming courses. He is in the Office of Information Services at the college as well, and actually Dr. Jensen is here joining us this evening if you have any questions of him. Jennifer North is adjunct faculty, and she teaches our organizational behavior course. I'll put this slide up at the end so you can write down any emails if you want to contact any of us directly with further questions. A little bit about the program. When we designed this program, we went out to industry and talked to employers, and we wanted to see what they were looking for. And they said that they were really looking for three things: people with knowledge in programming, knowledge in networking, as well as, and just important, team skills. So you'll see that throughout the program you learn networking, programming, database, client server systems, also project management and organization, as well as those important team building and communication skills. Just recently we were recognized as a professional science master's degree. In order to obtain this affiliation, we had to prove that we had advanced education in a science curriculum, as well as offering those highly valued business skills. Also part of the professional science master's, the requirement is that students do an internship. Well, we have adult students, most of who are working, so we can't really require them to do an internship. So the way we handle that is students work as a group. They start out in their first course planning out a 2-year project that they will work for. Generally, we try and find something in industry for them to do. Occasionally, they've done work for the college as well. Our program formats, it's built on a cohort or team-focused model. We really believe that the students working together throughout the 2 years will spur each other on and hopefully keep each other motivated. We have two formats, an online format and a hybrid format. In our online format, we use Blackboard Collaborate there. What that allows us to do is to have our lectures live, real time. We also record those lectures. Students can log in and are expected to log in and be part of the classroom experience. Our hybrid format, we meet for class discussions and labs 1 night per week. Our cohort starting up in fall 2012 will be meeting on Tuesday evenings, 6:30 to 9:30. So students who do enroll know that they have to dedicate Tuesday evenings, and that won't change on them. Optionally, students can meet on campus for open labs. All the remaining coursework is completed online. Again, I want to stress that those in the online format and the hybrid format, we really strive to give them the same experience, so that even if you are online, whether you're working from home or at work or possibly even traveling in a hotel room, we want to make sure that you do log in and be part of the classroom. In the event that anyone misses class, we do have those lectures recorded for reviewing later. I've actually had students that have been in the class say that they go back and listen to the recordings just in case they missed something. The courses, in order to complete the degree, it takes 10 courses total. 1 is a project management course. 8 are technical courses covering networking and programming, 1 of which is taken during J-term. That's known as our January term here on campus. That's a 4-week session, so you actually get a course done in 4 weeks. We also have 1 organizational behavior course also taken during one of the J-terms. The course is completed in just under 2 years, and this does mean summers off. I've had a lot of students in the past say that they want to just get done as fast as possible, and can they take courses over the summer? I tell them, come back to me after your first year and see if you want to go in the summer, and I've never had anyone come back to me yet. So it's really a good break for everyone to take that summer off and come back and refreshed and revigorated for the next year. Here's an example of what the courses look like. In the first year, you would start out with that project management course. That course is 8 weeks long. This is the course where you would plan out that project that I was talking about that you would cover over the 2 years. Generally, those projects involve some sort of web application with a back-end database. The next class you would take is in the second 8 weeks of the semester, and that's a computer network concepts class. I want to stress that the majority of all of our classes are really hands-on type classes. The computer network concepts, though, will introduce you some of the theory of networking before you get into the hands-on work. Then you have your holiday break. Then you come back in January into organizational behavior. Again, this is our January term, which is 4 weeks long, and we get that class done in that time. Then we move into our database systems and programming, which is the first 8 weeks of that semester. Here's where you plan that back-end database for that project that you planned back in the project management course. Then you take another networking class, local area networks. And then you have the summer break. That second year you come back and you enter the Windows application programming course. In there, generally I actually teach that course, and I will give students the textbook that they should purchase over the summer and even some reading so that when they come to that class, everyone's kind of at the same level and ready to go. We also use a Microsoft product, Visual Studio.NET 2010, the integrated development environment for doing the programming. Since we are part of the Microsoft Academic Alliance, we can distribute that software to our students for free. So we also give you that over the summer to get installed so you're ready to go when the year starts. The second portion of the semester, you take another networking class, Wide Area Networks, and then the holiday break. The next January, we have a course called Special Topics in Computer Information Systems. In this course, Professor Ghani teaches it, and he discusses with the cohort to see where the interests might lie. Now, it can't be on any topic, but in the past, he's done some voice over IP, virtualization. So he throws out some ideas, and the students throw out some ideas, and they have an agreed upon topic that is of most interest to the cohort. Then in the final semester, you finish up with Internetworking Technologies, another networking course, and finally finish up with the Wide Area Network Programming course. It is in this course where you finish your group project that you planned out all the way the first year in project management. Also, as part of that course, we do expect graduate students to give a presentation at the annual Elmhurst College Research and Performance Showcase. And then, of course, you have your May graduation. I'd like to talk about some of the features and benefits of our degree. First of all, we have 24/7 computer lab access, a dedicated grad networking lab, or use of simulation as well for those students that are doing things online. Their 24/7 computer lab access, we give students a key card that gets them into our facilities any day, even the holidays. So if they want to come here and work or meet with their group, they can certainly do that. Also, all of our PC labs are 100% application oriented with hands-on instruction. So we do offer all of our courses within a PC lab. As we said, we want to spend a lot of our time actually working with the product that we're learning or the topic that we're learning. We don't believe in doing a lot of lecture for 3 hours. We realize that people are coming from possibly a full day of work, and we've got a 6:30 to 9:30 time frame. We really feel that, you can do the reading of the textbook and stuff on your own. When we come here, here's the time to go ahead and get your hands on things where you do have a professor there to help you. All of our courses, we have a mix of programming, networking, and business courses. As I said, when we went out in industry, these were the things that they were looking for most. We are, as I mentioned already, Microsoft Academic Alliance, which means that for our database class, we use SQL Server, and we can distribute that software to you. For our Windows application class, we use Visual Studio.NET covering VisualBasic.NET. We can give all of that software to you for free so you can install it at home and work from the convenience of your home. Also, if you choose to, as I said, you have computer lab access, you can come on campus and work as well. Blackboard is our course management tool. So any handouts, PowerPoints, those recorded lectures, anything that we do, and the instructor will put that on Blackboard so you have access to that at all times. Also within Blackboard, we make use of the group facilities. So when you are working on a group, you can do file sharing and discussion boards with your group members. We use Blackboard Collaborate as our means to do the online portion. So students can log in and they can listen to the lecture live and can participate live, and they are expected to do that. So again, we're really trying to make the online and the hybrid experience the same. And as I said, we record all those lectures, and the instructor will post those into the Blackboard Course Management tool so that both online and hybrid students can view those lectures at a later date. Also, Blackboard Collaborate can be used by groups. So if your group wants to get together on a weekend, but you don't want to come together on campus or a different location, you can use Blackboard Collaborate to work virtually as well. Again, a lot of our courses focus on team projects and group work to build those people and team skills that we know employers are looking for. Another great benefit is our lifelong learning option. When you come here and you take a course, for example, if you were in our SQL database class right now, it's covering SQL Server 2008. Well, in a few years, we're sure Microsoft will come out with a new product, and we always keep up to date with the latest in technology. With the lifelong learning option, what that gives you is the ability to, after you graduate, come back and take a course for a very nominal fee to learn the new version. So we have a number of students that come back and use that option. The other option we have is our MBA option. So if you decide to come for your Master's in Computer Information Systems and graduate, then you can apply for the MBA option. If you get accepted, it's another year of coursework and you come out with 2 degrees. We also do networking with alumni. I do have on LinkedIn, we have a group set up. So once students graduate from our program, they are invited to join in the group. And it's just a great way for you to keep in contact with your own cohort as well as alums that have graduated in previous years. Just the other day, I had a student looking for some work at a particular company. He looked on our group and he saw that there was another alum who worked there, so he was able to contact him directly through that, both of them being alums of our program. Another great benefit is ecconnect.com. This is sort of a career site for Elmhurst College students. So as a student, as an alum, you can post your resume out here, and employers can post jobs out here as well. Also, if you're looking to hire some Elmhurst College students, you can certainly post jobs out there too. Looking at the Occupational Outlook Handbook, the latest edition, I just looked up what they had there on computer network systems and database administrators. And they're predicting the employment is projected to grow much faster than the average, with excellent job prospects expected. As we know, the economy is kind of tough right now, but if you do spend a little time taking a look at some of the sites such as Career Builder or Monster, do some searches on these topics and you will see that there are a number of jobs available. Lastly, I'd like to point you to our website at http://public.elmhurst.edu/CIS. There we have a few videos of current students and alums. So at your leisure, you can go to that site, read a little bit more about our program, as well as listen to some of the videos from actual students and alums. So I'd like to take this time now to open it up to questions. If you have any questions, you can type them into the questions section, and we'll be happy to take those for you. All right, there was a question about tuition. I'm going to put that to Tim Alber to talk a little bit about that.
Thanks, Linda. The tuition this year for the Masters in Computer Information Systems is actually $700 a semester hour. Usually you're in about 6 hours per semester, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do a payment plan process with our Student Accounts Office. We do work pretty well with work reimbursement program, so that if you have an employer that's going to help you pay for it, you can have that amount deferred from your bill. And then as far as financial aid goes, on the graduate level, there isn't as many opportunities as there is on the undergraduate level, but you would have access to loans provided you do your FAFSA.
Okay, we had another question about the group projects, and actually Dr. Dean Jensen will be happy to take that one.
Thank you, Linda. As she mentioned, my name is Dean Jensen. I teach a couple of the courses in this program. The first one is the project management course. It gives an introduction to the theory of project management, looking at the people skills and the process skills. It's in this course that we start to talk about the project that we're going to work on for the 2 years. We try and make the project as interconnected as we can. This year the students are working on a notification system, a computer-based system that could be deployed at a company to push out various types of notifications. This project is going to have a number of the components that the courses touch on. There's going to be a back-end database to store notification types, messages, users, responses. There's a Windows component that will run on client PCs to pull and fetch the notifications. There's a back-end web application for the administration of the system. And we're just starting in this project to look at the world of mobile. So we're looking particularly at developing a mobile web application that somebody on the administrative side of this project could use their cell phone to push out events. That project was first introduced in the project management course. We established the goals, the objectives, started to lay out what tasks need to be completed, such as designing the database, what is the interface for the Windows application, what will the web application do, what is the function of the mobile application. So it really gives us the foundation for the next 2 years of coursework.
Yeah, there was a question about the end of course presentation. Actually, at the end of each course, students give a presentation about their group work, because even in the networking courses, we have some group project requirements. So students are always doing the presentations. But if and you can clarify, but if you're talking about the research and performance showcase, that is on campus here. And students plan out their presentation, and they come on campus and they give that presentation to an audience. Generally, it's other students on campus. A lot of time the graduate students will have some of the undergrad students from the computer science department come and listen to them, want to see what our grad students are working on. Also, a lot of our grad students just invite family and friends as well. So it's a great place for them to showcase their work. Any other questions? Question came in, how many in the program? You know, it really depends on the cohort. We've had anywhere from where we do 40 students, and we've had two cohorts running. We have a max of 20 in a cohort. Ideal is about 15, I think. Generally we get somewhere between 10 and 15 students in each cohort. So it's really great because, as I said, we do a lot of hands-on work, so you really get attention from the professor when you're working in the program. Oh, okay, we have another question on the application process, so I'm going to let Tim handle that one again.
The application process here for this program is fairly simple. Obviously, you can do the application through the website online. It's probably the fastest way to get it in. The program does begin in the fall, so we generally look for a deadline of May 1st, although that's not a hard and fast deadline. There's no application fee. We do want to see, however, a couple other things that come along with that, including your official undergraduate transcripts. All colleges that you've attended. There are 3 letters of recommendation involved, and both on the website and in the paper application package, should you request one, you'll get letter of recommendation forms that you can give to teachers, employers, people along those lines. There is an essay that goes along with the application, essentially a statement of purpose, 1,000 words. We are looking at your English skills, and that's pretty much it to submit it. And like we said, May 1st is generally where we're looking for, no later than July 1st, with the program to start in August.
And now that Tim mentions that, I am going to scroll back a bit to the Meet the Faculty page. So if any of you would like to write down our contact information, please feel free to contact any of us with any questions that you might have. But happy to take more questions this evening too. So. Okay, I'm not seeing any more coming in. We're just going to wait a few more minutes, but if you've got your questions answered, thank you for coming this evening. We're just going to hang out for another minute or so and see if anybody has any last-minute questions. But again, thanks for attending this evening, and please feel free to drop us an email to ask us further questions.